So, like, what got you into hunting? Was that like a family tradition or something you've always been
Nope,
interested in
not at all.
doing? Not at all.
Nobody on what would be my dad's side, basically nobody hunted, nobody at all. And very few people on, well, would be our grandfather's side actually hunted. Grandpa Spot, Uncle Tony, Uncle Ed, they all hunted. I don't know how many of his brothers did, but I think it was I think I was about 12 years old.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I was about 12 years old, and we brought out the 30-06 that he had, or no, the 300 mag is what
Hmm.
he had. And he said, well, give this a go. So he runs me through the whole process and ends up loading me up and gets everything set to go. And he says, okay, make sure you shoulder up good and solid and lean
Hmm.
into it. And I leaned into that thing and I pulled that trigger and I literally went back on one foot. And I looked at him and I said, this is awesome. And
Hooked.
I got hooked on shooting. I do a lot of target practice, a lot of target shooting. But yeah, that kind of started the journey. And then just hunting with grandpa, actually up in UP was where it all started. And then kind of after he passed out, I kind of didn't hunt for a few years. And then when I met my wife, her family, they were all heavy. We did a lot of hunting up around the Ingadina area in UP, almost
Okay.
200
Yeah.
acres up there. So that was
Holy crap.
pretty cool. That was fun. A lot of years there. And then the last few years, I've been hunting up around the Harrisville area, just south of Alpena. I've been
Okay, I've
pretty
been to Harrisville.
successful. I've been actually, you can kind of see on the wall there. Got a
Yeah.
few bones up there, but yeah, and it's for me, I've always loved being outdoors. And this is kind of the precipice for me. I love being out in nature. I love just
Hmm.
like this last year I went up, I had some opportunities, and every once in a while I'll go hunting and I just don't have the urge to pull the trigger. I just watched. I watched,
Yeah.
it was filmed, and it was just cool. Just a cool experience. I just love being on the wood.
No, that's true. I miss it. Like, I don't go in the woods much here because I'm not familiar. I don't feel comfortable. There's poisonous snakes, right? So, like, the rattlers, yeah, I could hear if I come close to them, whatever. It's the copperheads I worry about because they blend right into the dead foliage in these mountains. So I'll do trails, but my head is on the ground the whole time, like watching to see if anything moves. Because I don't want to get bit. I don't want to be a couple miles up in these mountains and like, holy crap, not bit. Like, how much time do I have to get out of here before I feel woozy or knock out or whatever? I'm not sure what happens when you get bit by a copperhead, right? So don't want to get bit by a copperhead. I'm not too worried about the mountain lions. I mean, I'm sure one could really tear me up, but that's whatever. At least I could kind of see them coming at me. Black bears, uh, about the same size in Michigan. You know, we got small ones, we got really big ones, but the really big ones usually live further away. They're probably the biggest one I saw was actually was me and you. We were in
Well, yeah,
Gatlinburg at that
the
resort kind
resort.
of place. That thing was at
That was a
least
big dude. That
six,
guy
seven
said he
hundred
was like
pounds. I think it was a
600 pounds.
massive.
Yeah.
Easily, that's the biggest thing I've ever seen. Even in Michigan, I don't think I ever saw one even that big. I think the biggest one I saw in Michigan was 400 pounds or so. But normally they're like 150 pounds, 160 pounds. They're pretty scrawny black bear around here. They're not really big. And I think it just has to do with the food and the ecosystem around here, right? So have you brewed any beers for your hunting excursions or hunting season itself?
I have a few times.
Okay.
I would take them up, but the guys I hunt with, they just like their straight up light beers. So anything I took up that was overly crafty, they would have a few,
Gotcha.
but they wouldn't drink a bunch. But again, at the
Yeah.
same point, they'd be, 6.5%, 7% sometimes. So a little bit higher alcohol.
It's a little heavy.
If you can do the 4.5%, 5% and have a few
Yeah.
more while you're pulling cards and losing money, we're all for that. So.